Hey everybody, Jason here with the Oklahoma Child Care Resource and Referral Association. Welcome to the first in a series of tutorials on the WorkLife Systems database portal. Now, these tutorials are being produced in collaboration with WLS and Child Care of America. This first tutorial is going to be a general overview of the system. We'll delve more into the nitty-gritty details in subsequent tutorials. Now, the first thing you need to know is that WLS is entirely online. There's no extra software, there's no special equipment, there's nothing really you need other than a web browser to access this system. Now, in Oklahoma, we've had success with computers, with tablets, with cell phones, and pretty much all browsers. Because it's online, there are really 3 web addresses you need for this system. For the most part, these addresses are very similar to each other, so they're easy to remember when you're giving them out to other people that might need them. At the end of each address will be your state or region's unique identifier number. For instance, Oklahoma is 23, Child Care of Missouri is 11, and so on. These numbers will be after the URL that I'll talk about in this tutorial. For the purposes of this video, we'll be using the number 1, which is just a fake database with no real information in it, but it'll give you a good idea about how the system works. Now, the first page that we'll mention is the program portal. This is where your child care providers can log in to update their own information, add pictures of their program, and some other features that are unique to WorkLife systems. We'll go into much greater detail on the program portal in a later tutorial. The web address that you need for this portal is https://stage.worklifesystems.com/program/your number, whatever that number happens to be. Again, in this case, we'll be using the number 1 for all of our examples. The next page we're going to look at is the parent portal. Now, this is the referral side of things where parents, guardians, so on, can look and search for child care for their particular situation. Now, once again, we'll go into greater detail on this portal in a later tutorial. The web address you'll need for this one is very similar to the first one, stage.worklifesystems.com/parent/your unique number. Now, the final and most important address you will need is the one you as a staff member will use the most. This is where all of your work as a staff member will be focused, and it's the focus of our tutorial today. Now, the address for this one is stage.worklifesystems.com/agency, and you guessed it, your unique number. Again, we're using number 1. Logging into the system is straightforward. It's the same as any other website. Just enter your username, which in this case is whatever email address that your system administrator has set up for you, and your password, and click Login. And once you've logged on, this is the screen you'll see. At the top of the screen, you'll see a navigation bar. Each of these links will take you to a different section of the staff portal, and we'll briefly discuss what each of these is today. We're covering each of these in depth in later tutorials. Now, the first section we'll look at is touch points. The touch point section is where you'll put contacts and meetings that are with groups or individuals that aren't providers or that aren't parents or guardians that are otherwise in the system. This could be things like partners meetings, outside events like job fairs, school fairs, potential providers, etc. Anyone that is not a provider or anyone that is not a parent or guardian looking for child care would go here in the touch point section. The program tab is where all of your program information will live, whether they're licensed providers or whether they're licensed exempt providers. The referral tab is exactly that. When a parent logs into the parent portal or calls us for a list of child care options, their information will go here. The Professional Development tab is for all your professional development management, class administration, attendee tracking, etc. The Report tab is fairly self-explanatory. There are a lot of advantages to the WLS reporting system over other databases out there, and we'll talk about these in detail in another tutorial. Now, the Manage tab will not have much for the average user. These are going to be the administrator functions, and really we won't be covering much of this in the tutorials. If you would like some assistance with this and you're your systems administrator, contact Teresa or myself and we will be happy to walk you through some of these settings. Now, past the Manage tab, you'll see a welcome message with your name, which really does nothing other than give you a nice warm feeling that you're welcome here. Next to that is the live chat feature. Live chat is currently only on the referral side for parents and guardians to chat with your agency for referrals or with questions about the service. This feature can be enabled or disabled by your administrator. Now, finally, on the far right-hand side of the navigation bar is the Logout button. I highly recommend you log out when you're finished using the system. Now, below the navigation toolbar is a link to the dashboard. The dashboard shows you live site information and some historical information on the site, generally the last 30 days or the last week or so. Now, normal users won't get much out of this page, but it is kind of useful information for the site admin, or if you're just curious. Below the navigation bar is a plethora of information. You could have your mission statement, your logo, contact information. This is fairly static information and rarely, if ever, needs to be changed. There is a section below that where this green bar is where you can add announcement in for your staff members and customize that in addition to any program that might be logging in and your parents and guardians getting into the referral side. Now, the information that is where your logo is and the contact information is static across all three portions of the system. So that's it for today. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future WLS tutorials. On our next tutorial, we'll dive a little deeper into the touchpoint section, what goes into it, and how to enter data. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. We'll see you next time.